Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. How's everybody doing today? What's going on? My name is Rex, and this is your Daily Chat Season 2, Episode 96 for June the 19th, 2017. How's everybody doing? What's going on? So this is the first show back in over a week. As you guys do know, last episode was obviously 95. We did that a while ago, and a lot has been happening since then, and that's not the reason I've been away from the stream. The reason I've been away is just because the amount of stress I've just been under with family and everything is it's just a lot. So I just couldn't devote time to the show. It just didn't really work out that way, and I do apologize for that. It's not like when I was railing against people for doing sympathy marketing, all that. It's not really that. As you guys know, I keep a lot of you in the loop about what's going on. And if you guys have ever just asked me a question, you know I'm just a really straight shooter where you ask me an honest question, I give you an honest answer. So it's just been that. Today's episode, we're just going to be like chit-chatting about this, just kind of catching up. And then starting tomorrow, we'll get back to real real episodes after that. So let's just quickly recap for those of you who are new, and we'll take it from there. But before we get started, I do want to give a big shout out just to the guys on vid.me, the viewers on vid.me. Compared to the YouTube crowd, man, you guys have been killing the viewership, just destroying the numbers. Absolutely loving it. Guys, I cannot thank you remotely enough. It has been just unbelievable. I love it. I put a new episode up. I just watched the numbers. Oh my god. I'm a numbers guy, and the numbers make me feel good, man. Numbers make you feel real good when you got that going. So, to the guys over on vid.me, hey, thank you very, very much. I really appreciate that. Now, getting back to what's going on. So, my mom is currently in the middle of a lawsuit. Now, the lawsuit is with a predatory secondary mortgage lender who my mom was, let's say, pressured to take a loan out for my dad in one of his failing ventures. Okay? So, she took out this loan, and she was making the payments and everything, and now the accounting for a secondary mortgage lender, what is essentially a modern day loan shark, it's shady at best. So the payments obviously start to pile up, and you start to make your payments, but it gets harder and harder and harder. So the guy is now trying to foreclose on all three properties. Now, my dad, in his very vindictive kind of mindset, did what's called a blanket mortgage, where you put all of your properties with one person. If you've ever heard the expression, don't put all your eggs in one basket, this is exactly what happened. All the eggs were put into one basket, and now the person is coming for the basket. And it's a lot of money. There's a lot of risk involved with what's going on right now. So my sister and I, my mom didn't want any of our help. She thought she could do it on her own, as you do, which is totally fine. But which is as you do. Now, she thought she could do it on her own, but it got to be too much. And my mom is not legal savvy. My mom's not a lawyer, because that's not what she did. My mom's an entrepreneur. She's a businesswoman. So she put all my faith in my dad for some unexplicable reason. I don't know. Apparently that's just what she thought. She thought the person who caused the problem would be the guy to solve the problem. I see where the mindset is at, but at the end of the day, it's sketchy on a good day, okay? Anyways, going forward, when things start to really go south, my sister stepped in, and then she was doing a pretty good job, pretty good job. And then I realized stuff was just not moving fast enough, and there was still too much faith being put into the person who caused all of these problems. So I stepped in. Now, if you guys have ever watched me do anything, even while watching the stream, you know full and well I'm a person who moves incredibly fast. Even during live streams, if I see something wrong, I will try and fix it right then and there. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Excuses are not an option. So I moved incredibly quickly. I started to talk to friends who are lawyers. I started to talk to people who could handle this. And then my sister started to take her leads and start really moving with those. So now we're in the current day where we have retained a mortgage specialty lawyer. We've started to talk to real estate and property developers to try and get the home sold. And we've been planning our next steps post this case for the mortgage lender, because this battle's not gonna die with this case. This battle is just getting started. So anyways, where are we now today? So about a month ago Wednesday, I went to court with my dad and I begged the judge to let me try and find legal counsel, because we didn't have a lawyer at the time. And with my dad's dementia and become senility, I guess we're gonna say, becoming higher, he's becoming less of a credible source. So, like I said, we retained legal counsel. Our lawyer is really top grade. I like her a lot. Hopefully she can handle this. But anyways, our lawyer's awesome. And anyways, she went to court for us on the 13th or on the 14th of June. She went to court. The judge denied us an extension, a second extension, which, okay, I guess. I'm not wild about it, but hey, that's the way the cookie crumbles, I suppose, and there's not much I can do about that. So the judge denied us an extension. What he did give us, though, was a month to, if we can prove the numbers are dodgy from the accounting, he gave us a month, he'll give us 2 months to prove that, okay? But he gave us what's called a 6-month redemption period. Now, a redemption order is sought after by the mortgage lender. A redemption order is the time it gives you to redeem yourself, me, the borrower. A redemption order is the time it gives you to kind of get things squared away. If you can pay back the loan, you pay back the loan, or you have the time to sell the property, or whatever. You get a redemption order, and that gives you a redemption period. Now, in this redemption period, it can go anywhere from as low as 1 day. That's right, you could get as low as 1 day to figure a multi-$100,000 loan out. Or you can get as much as 6 months, depending on how much equity or value is in the property. Now, luckily for us, because we were able to prove how much equity is in the properties, we were given the maximum 6-month redemption period. So right now, we've already contacted real estate agents. Like I said, my sister and I have been talking to property developers. And now things are moving in a more positive direction. We're trying to sell one of the properties. Now, luckily, what's called the fair market value, which is what the city assesses your property at, or you have the assessment value, which is what the city gives you, and then the fair market value, which is, I guess, what somebody's willing to pay for it. But luckily for us, we're in the area we're in, this property is located, is part of a revitalization project by the city, so therefore property values are going higher and higher. Not the assessment value, but I mean like what developers are paying for it, because they're knocking down the old houses and putting up cheaper infill houses. So because of that, we have a better chance at selling it for far above the loan value, and therefore we can actually get a very minute amount of money out. Like, it might be enough to clear like 1, maybe 2 credit cards worth of cash. It's not going to be a lot, but we'll have enough to pay the loan out. We'll have enough to cover the fees and all that. So if we're lucky, that's what's going to happen. And that's really where we are today. That's really what happened. Is in the time that we did the last daily chat, we went to court. We got 6 months. So we have until December 14th to get rid of this property. If this property is failed to be sold, then the redemption period obviously ends. The court takes the property and sells it for the mortgage lender. And then we get nothing. If there's any, like, say on $100,000 loan, you sold a house for, say, $400,000, okay? If the court sells it, or even the mortgage lender sells it after the redemption period is over, that $300,000 remaining, you get none of it. Zero. You're not given anything at any point at any time. You pretty much, you've lost the house at that point. So this is a scary time. It's a terrifying time. God, it's not one of those things I'm gonna say, boy, I wouldn't throw my worst enemy at this. No, this is exactly what I would do to my worst enemy, is put them into this situation. But it's not a fun thing to be in, because the stress from all of this is just awful. Like, I'm up until about 5 a.m. every single night working on this case. I'm thinking of, who do I contact? What do I say? There is a lot of things to put together on a case like this. And we're hoping to be done by July. But it's affecting my job. Like, the YouTube side of things, the consulting side, the streaming side. There's a lot of things I do to try and grow my business, and boy, it makes it hard, man. When it's on your mind, it's hard to be entertaining. It's hard to be on point, like, wildly snap creative. That's not an easy task. That's not an easy task just to ask most people to do, yet alone to do it while you're under these circumstances. And that's why, it's like I said today, we're just going to do a catch-up episode. We're just not going to do any articles, because this is just where I wanted to go today with it. Now, with any luck, tomorrow we'll have some good articles, I'm hoping. But there's been enough happening last week that we'll be okay. So, yeah, there's nothing really more I have to say. That's really just everything that I had to talk about today. If you guys ever do have, like, questions about something like this, like an experience like this, tune into the live streams every single night and just ask away. I am more than happy to tell people, like, the lessons I've learned from this situation, because this situation is I don't want to say is unique, because foreclosures are incredibly common, but this situation for a regular person to have access to, that's pretty unique. So yeah, like I was saying, we have about 4 months, sell the property, clear the mortgage lender out, and from there I'll probably get at least part of my life back. Thank God I didn't have to declare bankruptcy on this. I'm happy about that. I'm happy I didn't have to, like, do anything super, super drastic. But yeah, foreclosures, man, are terrifying, and it's just not fun to have to sit through this at all. So, do you guys have anything you want to ask? Do you have anything you want to say? Let's hear it in the chat. We are going to play some games tonight, just because, we've only been live for like 20 minutes. If you're noticing some different aspects today of the stream, that's because I have moved back to OBS. I gave up XSplit. Yo, Mike79P, man, thank you for your follow on the Mixer side. Come on, mix it up for me. I moved back to OBS today because XSplit is nice, it's good, but by God, is XSplit a CPU whore. Like, XSplit just tears up my CPU. I use two PCs. The Mixer side of things uses an AMD 8320E. Now, say what you want about AMD, it's still, even at the worst level, it's still a quad core processor. Okay, it says octa core. It's basically four and a half cores. Okay, but my Twitch PC is a 5930K X99 chipset CPU, and it was taking upwards of 63%. Like, holy crap. That's a lot of CPU to take up on something that high. On something that high end, that's awful. So yeah, this is why I moved back to OBS. I know it's not ideal. I'm sorry if the mixer side of things looks a little bit on the fuzzy side for audio. I'm still working it through. Mute. What? Oh, damn. Hello? Okay, and Mixer just went down? What the heck? I see Twitch is still live. That's always good. Thanks, guys. Give me a moment. Give me a moment. We're working on it. Let's see here. Let's take that out. Let's put that back in. Okay, are we good? Are we proper? Dante voice. Son of a bitch. Okay. Yeah, damn. It was working just fine too. And now the whole thing just crashed. Unreal. Okay, Mixer, I'll have to fix this after. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah. Okay, let's stop streaming on there. Let's close this. But yeah, like I was saying, I had to go back to OBS just because it was so horrific that the CPU usage was so high. On the AMD side of things, it was at 99% every single stream. And that was at 720 30 FPS. And now we have the 5930K at 720 60 FPS. That was at 62%, 70%. By comparison, my Intel processor now on OBS is at 12%. And on the Mixer side of things, it's probably in the area of about 20%. I'm just going to go live now. We're going to find out. But it's significantly lower. So it's 13% on 16% on the Mixer side of things. So when it's that low on the CPU intensity scale, then yeah, people are going to pick with OBS. I'm sorry, XSplit. Like, you offer a lot of good features, and XSplit has an amazing set of tools that you can work with. But holy God, your overhead amount is so high. How do you expect anyone to use that? And especially, like, if you have a lesser processor, if you are using an AMD set of processors, then you are going to have so many problems. Like, so even if I just use, say, a 2 PC streaming setup with dual AMD processors where one computer takes all the load for the stream and the other one takes all the load for the game, it still would be so intensive that you would run the risks of heat issues, of management issues, of lag issues, of drop frames or whatever. And that's just not acceptable. And I know they said in their most recent 3.0 version update of XSplit, like, now you can do GPU offloading and all this other stuff. Guess what? That is for Windows 8 and Windows 10 only. I'm sorry. I don't know how much Microsoft paid you to make that feature like that level only, but that is ridiculous. I'm not using Windows 10 at any point in time. I refuse. I have looked into it. I have looked into using Windows 10 Enterprise Edition because you can strip out all the telemetry data in the enterprise, because obviously companies can't have that much data going to Microsoft. That's like a massive legal problem. So I've looked into it, but unless I got the Enterprise Edition, there's no way, no how am I ever gonna use Windows 10. And because of that, I will never have CPU offloading for my stream. And because of that, I will never be able to use XSplit for a long time. Now, I might use Windows 8. I will kick the idea around because the upgrade for Windows 8 is not very hard. I can kick the idea around and see how it goes. But yeah, there it is, guys, man. That's why I went back to OBS. I probably should do a video on that for YouTube probably very, very soon. But yeah, that's why I went back to OBS. At like 15% CPU overhead, it makes me a lot more calm than, 73%. Because 73% on a hexa-core system, that means you're eating up a lot of cycles. That's a lot of cycles. And when you're eating up 99% on an octa-core system, that's just completely unacceptable. So, yeah. Do you guys have any questions about the foreclosure proceedings, about the court case, about the move from XSplit? What do you guys have questions about? If you guys, I'll give you guys a minute. If you have any questions, we'll answer them. And if not, we'll move on to Smite for the evening and wrap up the daily chat. Feels good, man. As you guys can see, I got the overlay working again. We pushed out a new update over the weekend, which makes me happy. So I should have, hopefully this works. Okay. Damn. Whoa, Billy. Billy. Sorry, just trying to fix my my alert system here. Okay, let's see if that works now. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so looking at this, I think we don't have any questions. So let me just wrap up the daily chat here, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you liked what you watched here, do hit that follow button on your vid.me. Do hit subscribe on YouTube. If you really want to, you can subscribe on vid.me. That would always make me happy, but no pressure. No, you don't need to. Obviously, these shows keep going one way or the other. But guys, thanks so much for tuning in. I've been Rex. Thank you for all your patience that you showed during this difficult time with the court case and the foreclosures. I appreciate it. And I will hopefully have more updates on tomorrow's show. But tomorrow's show will be back to normal. We'll be back to tech, news, and all the other good stuff. Yeah, thanks so much for tuning in, guys. And I will see all of you next time. Bye.